Welcome to the United States of Tiffany. Our commentary offers a humorous take on wrestling. Please note, we're not bullying or attacking the wrestlers. We're engaging with the choreographed sport and its storylines. Our jokes and observations are about the characters and storylines, not the real people behind them. Tourists and citizens alike, welcome. Enjoy the show, and remember, it's all in good fun.
Okie dokie. Listen, I ain't gonna keep y'all long. Smackdown was pretty straightforward. Not really a lot going on. But it did what it was supposed to do, preparing for Survivor Series. So, just to be fair to the audience, hello. Hello. Hi. Hi. Hello. Hey. How are you? All right, cool. So I'm going to do my best to upload these pictures now, since I was too busy sitting here talking to Jared eating cheese to upload. But anyways, for those of you who are listening, how are you? How are you guys doing? I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. A great time. I really do hope y'all enjoyed your Thanksgiving. It was a wonderful San Francisco treat for me. And I can only hope and pray that it was the same for you. Okay? Because it was great for me. Let me see. They don't want to do nothing. All right. So to get the tournament stuff out the way, to let y'all know exactly what happened, this is not the updated card. This is the card they had before Friday. Okay. So Solo had advanced and so did Gunther. So those two slots are filled. And then Jey Uso advanced tonight over Rusev. And LA Knight advanced over Miz. Miz weaseled his way into another shot at the championship. I mean, at John Cena. Now, Nick picked the name at random, but his stupid ass had the little bubble open talking to R-Truth. And it looked like Miz weaseled his way in by switching his name in that little card slot. Now, either way, LA Knight has advanced, okay? And he now will face off against Jey Uso. Gunther and Solo will fight it out. And I'm betting that it's going to be Gunther versus Jey Uso at the last match. And then more than likely, Gunther will be the one to advance. If Jey Uso advances, I will be surprised. But considering the fact that he's going to be in War Games and that advancement match for this particular side, the semifinals starts Monday, if I recall, unless they're going to do a delayed and have it start on Friday. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think Jey Uso is going to beat Gunther going into at the end of the tournament. Would I be happy if he do? Yes, because in some kind of way, I feel like it would be, to be fair, Jey Uso don't need to leg up from from John Cena either, if we're being honest. I would prefer if LA Knight advanced over Jey Uso and it got down to LA Knight and Gunther, and then LA Knight won and beat Gunther, and he's the one who faces off against John Cena, because that would be a major boost for LA Knight. Out of everybody in this tournament, he is the only one who really needs the massive push, right? Because everybody else is already getting one. So we'll wait and see. But for now, that is your tournament. Okay? Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page. Yeah. So we saw that. Boom. He got hit with a BFT. That was the end of that. Charlotte was the one. Instead of doing it tag team style, they decided to do one-on-one, which is the traditional way to earn the advantage, in the War Games match. And it was Charlotte versus Asuka. They did not have any members of either team at ringside or come out at the end. Everybody allowed their respective team member to make sure they secured the advantage. However, unfortunately for Asuka, she was not able to best the Queen. The Queen was able to secure the advantage. And if you watched the show, it seemed like Rhea's team is all on one accord, but everybody on the team with Asuka is not. Becky seems to want to be the leader, and she feels as though because she has an impeccable record in War Games, she's never lost one, she should be the one who should be, getting everybody together and making sure everybody understands how important this win is. Nia pretty much blew her off and was like, hey, Becky, we get that you won a lot, but it's not about you, sis. It's about Asuka, because she's on the docket tonight, not you. Anyway, Asuka, girl, you got this. You beat her before. You don't need no help. Becky felt like she was the odd man out in this group. She looked like the odd man out in the group, if we're being honest. Something tells me that this War Games match ain't going to look too good from Becky's advantage. I don't think that bitch getting in that cage. I really don't. I'm leaning more towards Becky is either going to enter into this match last or she's not entering it at all. She's going to walk away because she don't want to have nothing to do with it. And that's going to lead a team down a man. If Asuka's team wins, I'm fine with it. I don't care. But something about the way Becky is behaving leads me to believe she's either going to lose this match for them, which means she's either going to have a forfeiture, or AJ Lee is going to end up pinning her, or she's going to literally not enter into the match. She's going to just walk away. I'm telling you, something is off with that lady. I don't know what yet. I haven't quite put my finger on it. But I'm going to figure it out. Anywho, Charlotte won the advantage, so Team Rhea has an advantage. And y'all know the rules of War Games, okay? Now, the celebration for Chelsea Green was interrupted by the current WWE Women's Championship. Now, this was interesting. I had to wet my whistle. Anyway, Jade came out there, decimated Alba Fire.
Oh, so that was my part.
And glam slammed, but she called it something else. Jaded, I think.
Yep.
She took out Chelsea. Poor Chelsea. Chelsea was just in there popping her shit because she's a double champion, which rightfully so. Chelsea deserves the right to pop her shit as a double champion, okay? But Jade said, I'm sick of bitches out here talking shit. She said, anybody who talks shit, I'm coming to cut your ass down. And she walked past B-Fab. B-Fab was just walking. She ain't really say nothing, but she turned because Jade kind of stopped and looked at her and was like, did you say something? Yeah, I thought so. And I would have been like, girl, I would have snatched that whole wig off. But that little interaction leads me to believe that B-Fab is probably going to end up turning on Meechin at some point, and she going to end up running around here with Jade Cargill, and they going to be running shop on bitches. I have the inkling that a rendition of what we saw in AEW with the baddie section and her baddie crew is getting ready to be created right in WWE, and the first person that's going to be in it is B-Fab. She's going to be the first one. Because it's just like what happened in high school with this one girl. This one girl got beat up in high school real bad. Real bad. Okay, she got her ass whipped. 2 weeks later, she came to school. She was that girl's best friend. And the whole thing was, if you can't beat them, join them. That girl was all up underneath her, too. Best friend this and best friend that. And she was loving on her real hard because she didn't want to get her ass whooped again. Because when I tell you she whooped her ass, she stomped her ass out at the bottom of the steps, bitch. Woo! That was a rough ass whooping. I said, oh, I would be devastated if I got my ass whooped like that. I would never return to school, honey. I can't come to school after the ass whooping like that. Oh, that's disrespectful. Anyways, so the 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match happened, and look, the elimination started with Mateo getting cut. Mateo, then it was Tongaloa, then it was Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin. Oh, it was Shinsuke first. It was Shinsuke before Tongaloa. So it was JC Mateo, Shinsuke, Tongaloa, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, Ray Phoenix, and then it was Tama Tonga, Tala, and then it came down to Sami Zayn and Solo. Ultimately, Solo was able to get the win because he was able to use his Samoan spike against Sami, who avoided the spike multiple times, but he just could not duck fast enough to miss this last spike. And unfortunately, Solo was able to get the win, but he didn't walk away unscathed. Oh, nay, honey. Because not only has Solo been making enemies across the board with the entire roster, but he completely forgot about the Wyatt Six that he clearly had an issue with. And they came in there after everybody was gone. The whole crew of the MFTs were gone. And the Wyatt Six, including Uncle Howdy, laid waste to Solo Sikoa. Now, the show went off before we could see him hit the sister Abigail, but baby, that's what happened at the end of the show. Okay, that's what happened. Because USA Network said, I want y'all to watch this show with Braun Strowman. Okay, y'all got to watch that. And we was like, no, we don't want to watch that. But anyways, yeah, so you got Jey Uso advanced to the semifinals in his tournament. LA Knight advanced to the semifinals in his. And you had Jade Cargill laying out Chelsea and Alba Fire. Pretty nasty work on Jade Cargill's part. But again, I do believe that B-Fab is going to end up joining and creating a faction with her at some point. And Chelsea looked nice in her dress. I didn't like the little knot right there, but she did look nice. I will give her that. She looked nice. The only thing that cracked me up is they hit the pyro for her celebration after she got laid out. After her and Alba got beat up, that's when they hit the pyro, child. It was sad. Oh, sad. Oh, they might not. Because last time that I think it was that Bianca, I don't know who was in it last year. I can't remember. It was Nia Jackson them, and if I recall, they had the advantage last time they did. What's the face in them had the advantage last time, and I think that they lost. Yeah. And then the men's side, I don't remember. Somebody had the advantage and they ended up winning. I can't remember. But either way, it's very possible that they could flip it this year. But if they lose, I'll be fine with it. I just want something weird to happen with Becky. The heel team had the advantage last time.
Right.
Interesting. Logan and Drew won. No, that's not. I'm not. No, I'm talking about last year's War Games. I know Logan and Drew won. I watched it. I was watching it. Okay. That was wild. Okay. So Survivor Series is tomorrow. All right. Survivor Series is tomorrow. And we got 2 non-Survivor Series matches. Both of them being title bouts. So Nikki Bella and Stephanie Vaquer are going to fight it out for that women's championship. And then John Cena's very last premium live event is going to be up against Dirty Dom in Dirty Dom's hometown of San Diego, California. Now, I think that John Cena is going to drop this title back to Dominic, but if he doesn't, I have a sneaky suspicion that LA Knight might win this whole tournament, and then LA Knight can gain the Intercontinental Championship from John Cena, which I would prefer that rather than watching Gunther wrestle John Cena. I don't want to see that. He'll be the second person that's retired on him, and I just really don't care. Team Rhea had the advantage last year and won. That's what I thought. I'm not totally crazy, but I do remember a team having the advantage last year. And if I recall, it was the girls, and they ended up winning last year. So I don't know. Do I think that it's possible that Team Rhea could win again, having the advantage? Yes, I do think that. But I also think that Becky's going to be part of the reason why they lose. I think she's just going to walk out. I don't think she's going to even come into the match. I think she's going to be the last person to be entering in the match, and she's not going to go out there. She's just going to walk out that cage, turn around, and leave, because AJ Lee's going to be standing there waiting for her, and she's just going to walk away. I'm telling you, I can see it in my mind's eye. Okay? If I'm not mistaken, both of the face teams won. Yes, last year, both face teams won War Games. Now, it's very possible that this year they can make both heel teams win War Games, which, to be honest, it really doesn't matter to me who wins in either of these War Games, because coming out of the War Games match for the men, you know damn well that Roman is probably going to end up taking or going after somebody's championship. For the women, I think the situation is going to break off into what it breaks off into. Bliss and Charlotte are owed a title rematch, so they're probably going to get that after the match, after the show is after they do like a week break, and that next week they probably gonna get him a title match. Then more than likely, unless Rhea decides to keep up with Io, she probably is gonna pop up over there on Smackdown to help out Damian, because Damian gonna need some help because Zelina Vega's a little terror. That's another thing I forgot. Damian Priest was getting interviewed, and Zelina Vega was like, "Yeah, we changed you. You just mad because what we saying is true." And Damian was just in the background with the light, and they cut the light off on him. And real talk, he gonna need some help. He either need to call his woman Lola Vice. That's the bitch I would call. I would leave Rhea's ass over on Raw and go call my homegirl and be like, "Hey, Lola, listen, I know you working for AAA and shit right now, but bitch, you need to come help me. I need help, bitch." And I would have her come and kick the shit out of Zelina Vase's head, okay? But that's just me. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? But the New Blood had the advantage last year, but lost. That's why I said the advantage, it could go either way. It really, the advantage is not even the issue. It really would depend on the story and how the storyline is going into it. Pretty much both teams are on equal playing field going into war games, especially on the women's part. So let me make it so visually y'all can stick with me, and I'm going to bless you. When you look at the women's war games teams, right, you have to think about the storylines going into them. The strongest storylines going in there is AJ Lee and Becky Lynch and Rhea, Io, Asuka, and Kairi Sane. Bliss, Charlotte, Lash, and Nia are byproducts of those storylines. The reason why I say that is because originally Bliss and Nia were and Charlotte were entangled in a little face-to-face argument. This drew Nia in. Nia felt like it was 2-on-1, so she went and got Lash. That's how Lash came a part of this entire conversation. And pay attention to what happens next after Lash and them break up after this whole situation. Because I also believe that Lash is going to be pulled in to this baddie shit with Jade Cargill. If I'm cooking with grease, y'all could give me a couple likes on that like button. Click that like button if I'm cooking with grease, okay? If I'm frying it too hard for you, then let me know in the comments. Let me know, Tiffany, you might be a little bit too close to the sun. Pull back, okay? But if I'm cooking with grease, give me my props. You feel me? Give me my likes. Give me some likes in that comment section, because I'm telling you right now, the smart thing to do would be to pull Jade Cargill, have Jade Cargill get to Lash Legend, draw her in, and have Lash, B-Fab, and make yourself a little squad. You feel me? Now, back to the story. Now, y'all know what's going on with Becky and AJ Lee. Becky was slapping all up on AJ Lee's husband, beating up on him and disrespecting him. She came in for the save, but Becky had been laying it on real thick with AJ Lee, telling her she washed up, she don't know what's going on, that she's the queen bee of this women's division, and she is the greatest wrestler of all time. And she's not the only one that says it. A lot of people say it. That's what she's saying. I'm not saying that it's true. I'm just saying that's what she said. Okay. Now, the Kabuki Warriors, Io and Rhea, obviously have their story past. You know for a fact that these four women have been battling it out for weeks. It started out with Io being family and friends with Asuka and Kairi. And Asuka was slowly turning to a heel again. And she did not like the fact that Io got all these opportunities. She had all these accolades without her. And she felt like because she was the superior wrestler, that she was the veteran, and that Io was her subordinate, that she should have been looking up to her. She should have been coming to her. And that when she offers help, it should never be turned down. It should always be taken because she is the queen bee. That's the whole story. That's the whole tea. When she didn't comply with what Asuka wanted, it became a full-on war. And Asuka just felt like, you don't want to be a part of my family, then you're not going to be a part of it. And rightfully kicked her out. And Kairi is obedient. So she didn't fight against the grain. She did what her mentor told her to do. Now Rhea was trying to protect her friend, telling her friend, "Hey, you gotta stand up for yourself. Just because she was your mentor don't mean she get to bully you like that." And because Rhea got involved, and Asuka's no fan of Rhea Ripley, the situation went from volatile, went from we ain't cool, but we ain't mad at each other, to completely volatile. And everything broke down when both women were getting attacked on a weekly basis. They ended up going to a PLE, fighting it out, and winning. But the bottom line is the Kabuki Warriors don't like Rhea and Io, and Rhea and Io don't like the Kabuki Warriors. Guess the story. So you've got Charlotte, Bliss, Lash, Nia hanging out on the wings. Like I said, their storyline is minor. It means nothing. It's insignificant. You have some things in there. The way they compiled and built on that part of the story was costing Charlotte and Bliss the tag team titles. They allowed Nia and Lash to come in, cost them the titles against the Kabuki Warriors. That added a layer to this War Games match. So the match was built off the backs of Rhea, Io, and the Kabuki Warriors. The added last minute storyline of AJ Lee and Becky Lynch, but they used the main story of the Kabuki Warriors to include 4 other women. Okay, it was really smart booking, if you ask me. Now, given when we get done with this storyline, when we get done with this War Games match, you have the potential of creating new storylines here, because you got AJ Lee and Becky, who gotta be able to have a match outside of War Games. It's just inevitable. They have to compete outside of War Games, right? The Kabuki Warriors could really contend against all 6 of these women and have a real tag team bout with all 6 of them, including 2 of the women that are on their team. They could decide to team up and go after those tag team titles, which would make perfect sense to me. Charlotte and Bliss are owed another rematch for those titles, and Rhea and Io could operate as a tag team and go after those titles. However, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Io's going to go back after Stephanie for that championship. So you'll have another match between them for that title, probably at Royal Rumble. You will see. Hold on a second. Let me get my cord so I don't lose you. Okay.
We'll do what?
Okay. There we go. Where was I at? Okay, I figured out. Listen, you have the potential, like I said, with the Kabuki Warriors, and then 6, you got the 3 teams. But you could also take Io, have her go back after Stephanie. Let Rhea help out Damian Priest. That's 2 women taken care of. Like I said, AJ Lee and Becky are going to continue their story outside of War Games. 4 of the women are taken care of, right? You can still have Charlotte and Bliss go after the Kabuki Warriors. And what you can do is have Lash and Nia still be a pseudo tag team, but slowly but surely have that tag team dissolve. And it needs to be because B-Fab, somehow there's a match made. B-Fab will be going up against Lash Legend or whatever, and they'll be out there beating her up or something. It'll be something weird like that. Or B-Fab cheats and beats Lash Legend and goes up to her to try to recruit her for Jade Cargill. You know what I'm saying? Because we should see that turn for B-Fab very soon. I don't want to see Michin in that group with them, although it wouldn't be bad. Like, she would fit if you give her the right aesthetic. But I'm talking about having the statuesque, tall women all in one group. It'll just look appealing, wise to us all. These are all opposing women from the beginning. Lash Legend is a bigger woman. She's statuesque and she's got the look. She's beautiful and she's gonna fit that aesthetic that Jade Cargill is giving. You switch out, you put B-Fab in there. B-Fab just got to change up her style a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot, to fit the aesthetic of what the baddie aesthetic is looking like right now. You notice everything Jade Cargill wear is spiky, is black, is stylish, and it's got designer feel to it, but it's hard, it's harsh, it's bold, it's in your face. That's the look they need to go for. I know for a fact that Lash could give that aesthetic. So can B-Fab. They all would fit together as a group. They would look right. That's how it need to happen. Okay? Let me see what y'all talking about. Let me see. They had this year's Mania on live for YouTube, and I was like, am I in the upside down? Hell no. I have a feeling that someone will turn on Team AJ. I got money on Charlotte. I don't think nobody gonna turn on that team. I don't. The grease is popping because she cooking, period. I was saying Jade, B-Fab, Lash, and Jada. You can leave Jada back at NXT. No, thank you. It sounds like it's gonna be extra crispy, ain't it? Ain't it? You have my like. It doesn't. It doesn't update for my computer with the other people like. So y'all better like it. Just like it. Motorboating that man like she not scared. Okay. I figured out that Javon Evans, he's who previously wrestled on shows like AEW Dark. Okay. Okay. What up? Okay, hey. I miss the Ice Capade's bodysuits though. I don't like them bodysuits. But that's her aesthetic. That's what she loves. I got money on Jimmy Turner. Okay. Since we going to the men, let's go to the men. Now, I don't. Either way, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of people in this match. Too many people, if you ask me, but there's a lot of people in this fucking match. There's a lot that could happen and a lot that could go on, which what makes this match so unpredictable, in my opinion. It looks like it's a predictable match, but I don't think that it is. There's plenty of ways that this could happen. Okay. One, Paul Heyman and Logan Paul decided that Logan Paul needed to write on his hand to make it look like he writes his promos on his hand. He says terrible promos either way. So you writing it on your hand and then coming out there and like, oh, they totally fell for it. They're so dumb. It's like, dudes, I don't write my promos. It's like, we can tell. We can tell you don't write them, honey. It's okay. You writing it on your hand was a compliment. If you didn't know. But anyways, I'm going to say this. I generally have no idea how this is going to play out for anyone. Do I care about how it plays out? Not really, because they've already given us a precursor of what the possibility of what could actually happen coming out of War Games. There are too many variables here. So let's just get into it. Cody Rhodes and CM Punk are your current champions. And Roman Reigns is obviously tired of not having gold anymore, and he's looking for gold. Now, Jey Uso and his brother don't seem to be back on the fast track of being a tag team anymore, but I legit would love to see what they're going to do with Jimmy outside of this. Because if you ask me, and this is no shade to Jey Uso, Jimmy is he's the more well-rounded twin when it comes to this game of wrestling. I like both of them, but the reality is Jimmy is more seasoned. Jimmy has the better rapport, and Jay seems to play better when his brother is around. Whereas Jimmy could hold his own whether Jay is there or not. Does that make sense? Now, personally, I think they should pull back off of Jey Uso. He can have a couple matches where he's succeeding or helping or whatever, but he's had his time in the sun, and now it's time for his brother to get his chance. He can go back after a lesser title like the US title or whatever, but for him to be going after main titles, I would cool on Jey Uso for a little bit. He will always be one of the people circling it because he's a former world heavyweight champion. So he's always going to be considered. But I would say until like next year, end of the year, he wouldn't be in title reign or title contingency like that. On the other side of the pond, I want Drew McIntyre to get out of the way completely. But I have a sneaking suspicion that he won't either. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, I honestly don't know what they're going to do with them, but from what I was hearing, the streets have been saying that before the year is out of 2026, Braun Breaker will be World Heavyweight Champion. And if that's the case, good for him. I personally don't care. Logan Paul can go to hell. I don't really care what they do with Logan Paul. It doesn't matter to me. If they can let his ass go for all I care. Same goes for Lego Head. The storyline really lies on the other side of the pond. These 5 men all are intertwined with each other. But the bigger story here is between the champions and Roman Reigns. All 3 of these men have clearly storied legacy and history between each other. Most of it created by Roman Reigns' arrogance and selfishness. However, he still is going to be the catalyst of this team. Now, I don't know how this is going to play out. But to Don's credit, I understand why he thinks Jimmy's going to defect. It's very possible for him. But to be honest with you, Jimmy was a heel for a very long time. It doesn't make sense right now for him to turn his back on the team and the bloodline. I just find it would be odd. We'd be right back where we started not too long ago, where Jimmy was the heel and Jay was the face. It would make more sense for Jay to turn heel. Well, if he was going into the slump, that would make sense. It would make more sense for him to turn heel and him to, you know what I'm saying, pretty much be the one to go defect. Because Jay's already done. I mean, Jimmy's already done that. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that Don's not right or that it's not possible. I'm just saying, to me, it wouldn't make much sense if he does defect. It honestly would make more sense for Roman to do it, seeing as how he was the last person to get in there. We already know he don't like everybody. It would make more sense for him to leave. But the storyline in this match is simple. Paul Heyman is a mastermind. Logan Paul clearly had nothing else to do. He involved himself by challenging CM Punk. And when that didn't go the way he wanted, he got beat up by the Vision. And again, if you can't beat him, he joined him. And then the team began to assemble. Of course, Paul Heyman made it very clear that he could pick anybody off the roster, which we already knew was going to happen. The moment that Cody Rhodes got involved in this match, we knew immediately that Drew McIntyre was going to be in it. But everybody thought Drew McIntyre was filming a movie. I told y'all that Drew McIntyre is not going to film his movie until January. Pre-production for the movie starts in January. So more than likely in this match, he may feign an injury to get pulled out of the show and off of TV for a little while so he can go film Highlander and then he'll pop back up later. But Drew McIntyre got pulled into this because Cody was there. If Cody wasn't there, I don't think Drew would have been in that match. Okay. And then, of course, we all knew that Brock Lesnar was going to be in this match. Now, as Jey Uso told CM Punk, listen, you wrestled me straight up, man to man, look me in my eye, and you beat me fair and square. I got nothing but respect for you, and I know the Vision is coming after you, so I'm trying to help. CM Punk was like, okay, as long as I know I can trust you. And Jey Uso was like, listen, you talking to main event Jey Uso, you can trust me. Cool. Boom. Match over. Love that for you guys. And then, of course, Jimmy like, listen, y'all gonna need some help. Y'all ain't gonna be able to take on the Vision alone, which Jimmy been trying to tell them niggas for months they had to work together, but niggas wasn't listening. But anyways, Jimmy joined up in the group to help out. This made them 4-on-4. And then Monday, we found out about Brock Lesnar. And then, of course, the OTC1 showed up. The storyline here is very simple. But where they made it a little bit more convoluted is in Roman. With Roman, while he's there because of his cousins, okay, he said, this is an investment in my family that I am going to continue to oversee. We may not be in the bloodline anymore, but I invested in those two. And I want them to get the best of the best. And I'm going to make sure that they get it. One way or another, they're going to get what I invested in them for, right? So, CM Punk was like, okay, man, are we cool? Because the last time I checked, I helped your ass out when you was in the middle of your bullshit. And now you here, working with me. Like, is we cool or not? Like, is you cool? Is you cool? Roman was like, no, bitch. No, because the last time that you and I were in any vicinity of each other, you blew up my whole life. You destroyed everything I built. You were the final nail in my coffin. So no, bitch, we'll never be cool. Fuck. Cody like, okay, bitch, well, welcome to the team. He was like, hey, fuck you too, Cody. Like, you took my championship from me. You were the start of the first nail in my coffin. What are both of you niggas crazy? I'm stupid. Nigga, I don't like you. And I don't like you. But I hate the Vision and Paul Heyman more than I don't like you and you. Okay? That's it. That's all. So here's what we gonna do. I don't know how y'all gonna figure out whose team it is. Doesn't matter to me whose team it is. We just gotta win this bitch. And then this is what he did to make it even more stank. He's slowly walking away and he stopped and he said, by the way, that gold will look better on me. And CM Punk was like, what? Wait a minute. Who gold you talking about? Roman said, nigga, gold is gold, but I'll let you figure that shit out. I don't give a fuck. The problem here is you got two champions on the same team, and you got another man who's also seeking their gold. Okay? That's a problem because how can you trust him when he's on your team? Now, Cody's worked with Roman before, and they had a mutual conversation. Look, I don't like you, and you don't like me. So the enemy of my enemy is my friend until he's my enemy. They had a conversation like, I have your back until I don't need to have your back no more. Simple as that. That's basically the arrangement they got right now. And one thing about Roman is you can always trust that man's word. He's never done anything on no sneak this bullshit. It's always been in your face. You've always known that he was coming, and he has always made it very clear where he stood. So the question is, he obviously not going to strike in War Games because a loss for them means a loss for him, right? So the question is, when is he going to strike, and how is this story going to continue going forward? I know a lot of people think a whole bunch of other people are going to win Royal Rumble, but I am on the verge of believing right now that Roman Reigns is probably going to win the Royal Rumble this year, and he more than likely is going to be the beginning of another chapter in this story with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes. A never-ending story. We're tired. You gotta build new stories. Please don't do this. I am begging y'all to not do this. Begging y'all to not do this because I am so tired. I am exhausted at this point. I think Jay turning. Like, we know the game. You so fanned out, you look crazy. Logan thinking he got the Rock level promos from 2011, 2012. That level of delusion could lead nations. Well, sure. But I don't know why Paul Heyman believes somehow that he and him, like, yeah, write this on your hand. The fans are going to notice it. They're going to pick up on it. Of course, we're going to pick up on it. Of course, we're watching it. We see you got black stuff written on your hand. What did you think people were going to say? What did you think they were going to say? Like, oh, Paul, they picked up on it, man. You guys fell for it. You guys are so dumb. No, what's sad is that despite you faking out that you write things on your hand, now we have confirmation that you really do talk off the cuff, which is clear that you're a fucking idiot and you don't know how to cut promos. You never really learned how to cut promos, and you haven't tried to learn how to cut promos. You're just out there on a whim, and they just let you be out there like that because you can perform exceptionally in the ring. I low-key wish you was a Travis Scott so they would do away with you, but for some reason, you're good at what you do. And I have to say that. I just see it as Jimmy's the only person on the team with no personal accomplishments. But to me, how would that get him anywhere turning on the team? What would that do for him besides make him the outcast in the team? He's not in the tournament, which I thought he should have been over his brother. So where would that lead him? He would just have a lot of heat on him from turning on his team. I don't think it would go anywhere for him. I'm tired too, but it seems like that's where it's headed. But it might not be. I don't think he's going to go after Cody's title. I honestly think that he's going to go after CM Punk's title because, again, Seth is still coming back by Mania. A lot of y'all really don't understand how much that man craves being in the ring. Like, he's just like John Cena. If he can get faster to come back fast enough, he's going to do it. And he's coming back before Mania. He's going to pop up. If it's not before Mania, it is going to be Mania night that he is going to pop up and ruin whoever wins that match between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. Because while Bronson Reed is probably waiting in the wings to face off against CM Punk, he probably will wrestle him at Royal Rumble. If he loses, it'll be an interesting bout. But the better story, if I'm being honest, if you give that title to Braun Breaker, right, at Royal Rumble, and then just let CM Punk and Roman fight it out, no title, it'll be fine. The booking will be fine. They can make it big and great if they want to. Sure. A one-off match between the two of them, is nothing wrong with that. And then you have Braun Breaker going into Mania. He's got to have an opponent, whoever they choose. And then it could be like a mystery thing, very similar to what happened with Seth at the Mania that Cody returned. He can get the same treatment, like have him come back, let it go completely dark. He doesn't say anything. He's quiet, which he hasn't been doing. He's been everywhere. Rich Eisen show. He's working and doing that shit every week and everything, but have him come back as the mystery opponent and get his title back. Or you can make this a longer storyline between Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, and the Vision as a whole, and have him systematically take out each member of the Vision, break them down and break them apart. Because right now, where the Vision was headed, it no longer is going there. And I think the faction needs to be done, not because I don't think it's working, but for the simple fact that Braun Breaker didn't get built up the way that they wanted him to. And not that Bronson Reed, but I feel like you can give Bronson Reed the Intercontinental Championship and let him go through. That way you can have him win that title off of somebody else like a LA Knight or whatever and be champion and have a decent championship run, and then build him up even more to possibly be a champion later on down the line. There's plenty of opportunities for him. And Braun Breaker, he's probably going to be a multi-time world heavyweight champion at some point in his career as well. So there's no rush to me to put the title on him because he isn't built up enough to take it. He doesn't command the presence like Gunther does. He doesn't have the draw of, say, a CM Punk, a Roman Reigns, a Cody Rhodes. He doesn't even have Jey Uso's draw, if we're being honest. Do the crowd respond to him? Yes, they do. They respond to him greatly. But he needs time. And I am of the school of thought that you need to build him correctly in order for him to go over correctly. Yeah, he works as a heel, and Paul Heyman's probably going to be the guy to hold him up for a while, but what are you going to do when Seth comes back and stomps him out? Because once that happens, that can kill or break him. Like that can either kill him or make him. It really depends. So, I don't know. this War Games match is the tricky one of both of them because there's no real clear path outside of War Games. Because once we're done with War Games, Drew and Cody need to be finished. I don't know what they're gonna do, if it's a last man standing match between the two of them or whatever, but they need to figure it out and figure it out fast, okay? But they need to be finished after War Games. They need to have their one-off match to finish each other off, and it needs to be done. Brock Lesnar can go home. We don't need to see him. He don't need to be there. Logan Paul, go home. We don't need to see you. You don't need to be there. And then you only have Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker left. On this side of the aisle, it's a lot going on. Roman Reigns is there. Cody is there. CM Punk is there. Two of the people over here are champions. Okay. You got a former world heavyweight champion here, former multi-time tag team champion on Jimmy's side. Like, you got a lot happening on the left side of this team. So, like, I don't know. The storyline outside of Survivor Series for War Games with this match is not as clear as it is for the women. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see how this will play out for everybody. But I am looking forward to War Games. War Games starts at 7 tomorrow. Yeah, 7 Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time. Okay. War Games starts. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy the show. And don't forget that John Cena's last match is Washington, D.C. It is on Saturday, December 13th. Okay, this is his final bout. He's having his final PLE matchup Saturday, this coming Saturday, against Dirty Dom. I'm going to say right now, I think Dom is probably going to get that title back. He's probably going to get that championship back. If he doesn't, I'll be surprised. Then in January, you're going to get Saturday Night Main Event on the 24th of January and Friday Night Smackdown. They will both be running concurrently together. Where the fuck is Randy Orton? We haven't seen Randy Orton in months. He has been helping IShowSpeed and training and stuff. Yeah. I mean, once he's done with Drew, then Cody Rhodes probably is going to have to worry about heel Orton returning. So that's going to be interesting. So before we get to next year's Saturday Night Main Event, this year we have Deadline. This is literally the last PLE of the year for the entire company of WWE. This is the last PLE. Deadline is going to be on Saturday, December 6th. So it is going to be next weekend when we watch Deadline. And currently, right now, we've got 3 matches scheduled for Deadline. This is the Iron Survivor for the women, and this is the Iron Survivor for the men. And then we have the match between Obafemi and Ricky Saints. Those are the only matches that are booked right now, but I'm sure Izzy and Tatum's match will probably be added to that particular showcase, because they could have easily put Tatum in Kendall Gray's slot or even Izzy in Kendall Gray's slot, but that's just me. Anywhoosies, next year we are going to be headed into the road to Royal Rumble, and we all know that Royal Rumble is going to be in Saudi Arabia next year, but their schedule for next year's January is going to be all overseas. All of the live shows and 4 shows live. So 2 Smackdowns and 2 Raws will all be overseas on their European tour. This is going to be their first European tour of the year. So it's going to be an interesting time, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. They're going to be everywhere. They're going to be back and forth from Dublin to Ireland. They're going to be going all over the place. But that last week of January is when they will head to Saudi, and all shows will run straight from Saudi Arabia. So you're going to have to do like some fucking backflips to avoid spoilers for shows in January, because people are going to be posting them things like crazy. Also, we're probably going to get a notification soon that the shows in January for Monday Night Raw are going to be on early in the day. So we might be watching Raw at 4 o'clock in the afternoon rather than watching it at 8 o'clock at night, which is what we normally would. I'm sure they'll make that announcement, the first week of the last week of December when we're celebrating New Year's Eve. They probably will start letting everybody know then. All right. Now, the next one we have for PLEs next year is, of course, WrestleMania. WrestleMania is Saturday, April 18th and Sunday, April 19th. And of course, they have the men's advertisement. And I haven't been able to get the women's advertisement graphic just yet. But now they have the individual tickets on sale and they are pushing them. All the WWE superstars and everybody are telling you to go ahead and purchase your tickets. Me personally, I won't be going to WrestleMania this year. I have no desire to spend that much money to sit and listen to people hollering and screaming when I could just do that at home, comfortable, in my drawers, watching TV. I don't have to put on no makeup. I don't have to put on no clothes. I could just be chilling. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, Mania is coming April 18th and 19th. It's the middle of the month, so be mindful. And then later on down the line, we have Money in the Bank set for September 6th in 2026. And as soon as they put up the graphic for SummerSlam, which I believe is in Minneapolis and is a 2-night event, SummerSlam is also happening in August. It's normal time. I think it's pushed back just a little bit. Instead of it being on the 6th, it might be that second week of August. With all that being said, ladies and gents, I hope you guys enjoy Survivor Series tomorrow, and we'll be back tomorrow to talk all about it, how the matches went, if I liked it, if I hated it, the whole nine. We're going to talk about it all. So I'll see you guys then. I hope you enjoyed my recap of Smackdown because it wasn't a snooze fest, but it was very quick and to the point, which I like that for us. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe for more wrestling content. Check out our merch and consider becoming a member for exclusive perks, special emojis, and members-only content.